Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. Last week we had Star Wars Outer Rim with unfinished business on the channel as the last playthrough in my old apartment. Today I'm into the new apartment and getting the feel for the new recording space. So we're keeping this week's game somewhat small as we play Terraforming Mars Ares expansion. As I mentioned, I'm kind of testing everything with the technicals here, and I'm probably going to be for the next few weeks with the lighting, potentially some sound. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I am running the dishwasher in the background, so I closed the door a little bit to deaden the sound on that, so hopefully we won't have too much of a problem with that. But I will welcome feedback on any of the technicals for these first few videos in the comments below while I get the feel for everything. But anyway, so I had been actually planning to feature regular Terraforming Mars on the channel, but I like this version of the game a little bit better for solo. Plus, I always forget the first two city and forestry tiles for the solo mode of that game, so we're going to cut those out for this game. Anyway, like in base Terraforming Mars, our goal here is to, well, terraform Mars for human life. To do that, we need to flip all 9 ocean tiles on the board, get the temperature up to 8 degrees Celsius, and get the oxygen up to 14%, and I'll point all of that out when we move over to the board. So we have 5 rounds to do all of that. And I'll explain more about how the round works as we work our way over to the board. First stop we'll make is over in my play area. I am seeing one potential problem as I'm filming everything in the background here. With the sleeves I use, there's definitely a potential for glare problems, but again, I'm still playing around with all the technicals for that, so bear with me a little bit on that as I tweak everything and get the feel for it all. And again, feedback is welcome in the comments down below. But anyway, here's the player area. So I've got my starting hand off to the side here. These will come into play once we get into the game. Then we've got areas for how much production you have. You can produce mega credits up here, cards, heat, plants, and then you don't necessarily have sources for these, but as you increase your production, I think those increase production as well. I'll have to double check on some of these cards and how that works. So this is actually only my second time also playing the game, so this might be a somewhat clunky video as I need to double check rules and all that. But anyway, I promise I'll try not to make it too clunky, although I might need to play around with some of the lighting, maybe switch on some of the lighting I've got to the side. But anyway, so you've got your steel and then titanium. Then you've got space for the bulk mega credits, heat, and plants. So the way those tokens work, and I'll explain more about the number tokens once we start getting starting effects straightened out. So basically it looks like the number of steel and titanium just offer straight discounts, whereas you could pay those in base Terraforming Mars for essentially discounts, paying for what you have in stock. I think I like how this works a little bit better, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and pick our starting corporation first. The way it's done in the base game, or the way it's done here, is you get dealt 2 and pick 1. So our first corporation that we get to look at is Credicore. You just start the game with 48 mega credits, and as an effect, when you play a card with a printed cost of 20 mega credits or more, you pay 4 less for it. So just a boatload of mega credits to start the game, but really no steel, no production of any kind. Our second corporation, Helion. You start with 3 heat production and 28 mega credits, and on an effect, you may use heat as mega credits, but you may not use mega credits as heat. Given that one of the standard actions is for 8 heat to increase the temperature 1 step, starting off with 3 heat production for 20 less mega credits is not something I'm going to pass up. So I think we're going to take Helion. So we're going to take 28 mega credits. So this is where these tokens come into play. I'll start off with 16 here. So the gold tokens are 10, the silvers are 5, and the bronzes are 1. So 16, 26, 7, 8, 3 heat production. This will go back in the corporations deck, which will ultimately end up back in the box in the grand scheme of things. So now that I know what corporation I'm playing as today, Now I can actually go through these cards with a little bit more information on that. But anyway, so I'll give the corporations a quick shuffle and a cut. So now we get to look at our first hand of cards. First up we have Zeppelins for 10 mega credits, but we need the oxygen to be red or higher, and I'll point that out when we go to the board. So during the production phase, this produces 1 mega credit per forest VP you have. That will probably end up getting tossed on the mulligan, but I'm getting ahead of myself there. Next up, Deep Well Heating for 14 mega credits. Lets you raise the temperature 1 step, and during the production phase, this produces 1 heat. The tags are somewhat relevant on some of these, so I'm going to be building a tableau. I'll probably build it off to the right side. I have a specific configuration for that in mind, but we'll take a look at that later. So jumping the heat up might not be a terrible thing to do right away. Next up, we have a mine for 10 mega credits, which gives you a steel tag on it. And when you play a steel card, which you'll do in phases 1 or 2, and I'll explain more about that when we actually go through how the round works, you pay 4 less mega credits for it. Ooh, that could be good as well. Any kind of discount is a very good thing if you can find it. Next up, Aquifer Pumping. 14 mega credits gives you a steel tag as well. As an action, you can spend 10 mega credits to flip an ocean tile, and then reduce this by 2 mega credits per steel you have. When an action, that's a standard action as well. So you can pay. So I'll explain a little bit more about the standard actions when I get through the hand. But anyway, next up, insects for 10 mega credits. During the production phase, this produces 1 plant per plant tag you have. So that's where the tags kind of come into play. We haven't had any plant tags in the opening hand yet, so I might toss that. Anyway, next up, an ice asteroid for 21 mega credits gives you a titanium tag and an event tag, which those can matter as well. Flip 2 ocean tiles, which that would actually be very good then that'll make more sense why that's good once we look at the standard actions. But anyway, I'm getting a little ahead of myself there. Next up, Noctis Farming for 13 mega credits. It does have steel and plant tags, but it also requires red temperature or warmer, which gives you 2 plants, and during the production phase, this produces 1. That might get tossed as well. And finally, Artificial Lake, 13 mega credits, but it requires yellow temperature or warmer, flip an ocean tile. For the solo game, I'm not bothering with the victory points unless we successfully terraform Mars. But anyway, I do want to check how those tags work. I don't think, at least for steel and titanium, I think there is production for those. I would imagine there is, but I may be getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So, yeah, so I imagine it'll say on there produces such and such each titanium capability. I'm still trying to figure out 4 types of resources. So mega credits, plants, heat, and capabilities. Give a clear. I imagine it'll say on the card, but anyway, we'll keep an eye on that as the game goes. So anyway, now that I haven't seen a lot of plant tags in this hand, so I think I want to toss. Okay, so looking at this hand, I like the asteroid, so I'm going to keep that. Aquifer Pumping's also very good, especially if I can get my mega credit production going. And steel. I'm going to keep the mine as well. We're going to hold on to Deep Well Heating because I want to be able to produce more heat and do the standard actions on that. The Artificial Lake is going to get tossed, I think. As is Noctis Farming, because we're a while away from playing that, especially the yellow. Insect with no plant tags, that's not particularly useful. And Zeppelins, I think, is going to go as well. So we're going to draw 4 new cards. And then these we're keeping. And then we have to keep in mind also that anytime we need 3 mega credits for a project, we can toss them. So first up, and these are staying in the hand. Lake Marineris for 17 mega credits. We need yellow temperature or warmer. So that's going to be a while, but we'll see that more when we look at the board. Flip 2 ocean tiles. Next up, acquired company for 11 mega credits. Another steel tag and an earth tag. During the production phase, draw a card. That could be handy. Next up, methane from Titan, which takes red temperature, red oxygen, or warmer. During the production phase, this produces 2 plants and 2 heat, and it's got a space tag, so we can pay 3 less mega credits per space capability we have on that. And artificial jungle for 5 mega credits as an action during phase 3, and I'll explain more about that when we get into the round. Spend 1 plant to draw a card. So that's everything in my play area setup. Now let's go up to the board. Now that I'm looking at it, that might be a little bit more of a glare than I was expecting, but again, you guys can let me know in the comments section if it's too much of a problem. But anyway, here's our first look at the board. These are the 9 ocean tiles that we need to flip over to win the game. There's the oxygen marker at 0% and the temperature at minus 30 degrees Celsius. Going around the board, we've got the Terraform rating track. So the way that's going to work is if we get up here, 6, 7, 8, 9, we'll put another cube down here and then keep moving around the board. But anyway, so we do have another color tile, another color cube over here. That's just for the solo game to help me keep track of the turns. So basically, I'll go through it. It'll make a little bit more sense once we get into the game, but I think I did forget to mention with the hand that the hand limit is 10 cards. That doesn't get checked until the end of the round. Plus, I mentioned we can discard cards to get 3 mega credits anytime. So I don't expect hand size to be too much of an issue, but I'll have to keep an eye on that. Anyway, so the solo mode offers 3 difficulties, and some of them give you help on getting to the parameters for Mars. We're going to be playing on novice difficulty. I'll explain more about how that's going to help out a little bit at the end of the first round. Anyway, I think we're ready to jump in, so let's go ahead and jump into the first turn. The way the round works in Terraforming Mars is it's played in a series of turns. So every player, except for me in a solo, is going to get a hand of the different phase cards. If you're seeing a lot of Race for the Galaxy, if you're getting a lot of Race from the Galaxy vibes, a lot of the reviews I saw as I was researching this game said basically described this game as the love child of Terraforming Mars and Race for the Galaxy. So if you're getting, like I said, if you're getting vibes from that, you're not alone. But anyway, so each of the 5 phases we have are development, where each player may play 1 green project card, and if I lead this, I pay 3 less mega credits for the card I play this phase, and I might very well lead this phase. I've got a couple that I might want to lead, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. But anyway, that's phase 1 is development, and they'll go in order as well. So phase 2 is actually construction, where each player may play a red or a blue card. And if you lead it, draw a card or play an additional blue or red card this phase. Phase 3 is action, where each player may activate any action effects and standard actions. You may activate 1 action effect an additional time. So I mentioned briefly about some of the standard actions. I'll point this out more when we go to the board, but there are some standard, when we go back to my play area, but there are some standard actions at the bottom. Like I said, I'll point that out. So anyway, phase 4 is production. Each player gains heat, plants, and draws cards according to their production. They also gain mega credits equal to their mega credit production plus terraform rating. And if you lead it, you gain 4 mega credits. Then research. All players draw 2 cards and keep 1. And if you lead it, draw 3 additional cards and keep 1 additional card. So if you lead that, you're drawing a total of 5 cards and keeping 2. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So the way the AI will work with it is I'll choose a phase that I want to lead this round, then this turn, then the AI will flip a card over. Then those will be the only phases we do for the round. So it's very important for me to guess what card is... As I get later and later through the deck, I'll be able to guess what card is coming up and try to plan for it accordingly. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. I'm going to move the hand up so I can keep my discards... Yeah, I can keep the AI discards out of the way. So I think I actually want to lead on a development right off the bat. Now, the one thing to note is the next turn, you then can't play the same phase. You can't play the same phase twice in a row. So, like, I couldn't do production twice in a row, even though I might get to a point where I'm desperate for mega credits, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So our first card coming out is a construction. So we're going to be doing development and construction this turn. And because I led development, I get to pay 3 less mega credits for the card I play this phase. Anyway, let's move back over to the board and we'll go into development and construction. Before we talk about development and construction, I'm going to talk about these standard actions down here. So this is stuff that you can do during the when we're doing the action phase. So you can pay 20 mega credits to gain a forestry victory point tile. You can pay 14 mega credits to increase the temperature 1 step, which also bumps both of which also bump your terraforming rating. You can spend 8 plants to get a forestry tile as well. 8 mega credits to bump the temperature 1 step, and 15 mega credits to flip an ocean tile. All of which will also boost your terraforming rating by 1 point. Which is a good thing when you're going into the production phase, but we are not doing production this round. So, because I led... So development is our first phase. This is probably going to be absurd to flip these over every time, but we'll try to do that. So, actually, I'm not even going to bother with that. We'd bother with that probably for a multiplayer game, but because I'm playing a solo game, I'm not going to bother with those extra tiles. So, for a development card... I can play a green card and I can pay 3 less mega credits for it, which is actually going to be very welcome here because I'm actually going to pay 7 mega credits, 5, 6, 7, to play out my mine, which gives me 2 steel capability. So when I play a steel tag, I pay 4 less mega credits for it. So we will go... So I'll put my steel up to 2, which means, like I said, now my discount is, now I get to pay 6 less, or 4 less for any steel card I play. And then we do construction, so I can play a blue or a red card, but I don't get to pay the, I don't get the bonus from that. So I think we're going to go... I think paying 10 mega credits, 21 for an ice asteroid is hard to pass up, but yeah, I think we're going to pay 10 mega credits for an aquifer tile. So now during the action phase, I can spend 10 mega credits to flip an ocean tile and reduce that by 2 mega credits per steel I have. So right now I have 2 steel. So that would cost me 6 mega credits to flip an ocean tile. But anyway, that is it for a turn of Terraforming Mars, Ares expansion. So anyway, let's move back over for the next turn. So the AI isn't leading construction anymore, and I can't lead development this round. It's probably a little early to do, well... 11 mega credits isn't going to let me do anything in my hand. So, I think I'm just going to lead research this round, and let's see what the AI is going to lead. The AI is leading production, so that's not completely catastrophic. I didn't want to lead production right away, but I don't I kind of don't mind having production happen anyway. So let's move over to the board and I'll produce. My production phase is going to be uneventful, so I gain 3 heat. Well, I'm definitely warm to getting more mega credits, so gain mega credits which gives me 5 credits. Which brings me back up to 16 and could be helpful with what my next... Well, I've got a couple of options for what my next play could be, but especially since there's still a development in the deck. But anyway, so that's it for production. Now I'm going to draw 5 cards and keep 2 of them. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first up I find economic growth for 10 mega credits, which is actually a very cheap development, very good for me. During the production phase, this produces 3 mega credits. That sounds like a snap keep. Solar trapping for 10 mega credits. Draw a card and gain 3 heat. Also could sound like a snap keep, but I'll look further. Next up, Think Tank for 13 mega credits. Science tag, and then there's an action I can spend 2 mega credits to draw a card. That might not be as interesting. Adaption technology for 12 mega credits. Another science tag on it. And in effect, when playing a card with requirements, you may consider the oxygen or temperature one color higher or lower, but you can't modify it further by other effects. And industrial microbes. Costs 9 mega credits. Actually, that would be 5 for me because I've got 2 steel capability, and it's a microbe tag. During the production phase, this produces 1 heat. When you play a steel tag, you pay 2 less mega credits for it. So that'd be a 3rd steel capability, actually. So there's one thing I wanted to look up, though, and I can't remember what it... like I said, there was something I wanted to look up, but I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, I'll probably remember it later, but... Oh, I remember what it was. I wanted to see if when I discard during the research phase, do I get the 3 mega credits like normal? I was playing that I don't the first time, but I might be playing that wrong. So if at any point... Okay, you gain the mega credits if you discard during the end phase, so no, I don't think you gain mega credits for discarding during research. But anyway, I know Think Tank and Adaption Technology are going back, but we've got 3 very good cards here. That's heat and more steel capability. This is drawing a card and giving me 3 heat as well. Alright, this is the one with heat production and another steel capability. This one gives me a card and 3 heat and produces heat during the production phase. And this one produces 3 mega credits. So I definitely need mega credit production, so I'm going to keep that. Because that's basically a 6 to gain 3 mega credits during every production step. The question is, which of these 2 do I want? Well, this is a tough call. That's going to cost me 6. Yeah, 6. For a card and 3 heat and produce 1 during production. I've got another way. One of my next developments is going to give me a card during the production phase. So I think I'm going to keep Industrial Microbes and discard Solar Trapping. As much as it's a very good card, I think I'm going to have enough way to draw cards during the production phase that I'm not going to worry too much about that. So anyway, that's my hand. Now let's move back into another turn. And you can see what I'm trying to do over here as well, just so I can keep track of what's come out from the AI deck. So, I've got some insanely good developments that I want to get on the board. The question is, what do I want to get out next? I've got 16 mega credits right now, so any of my developments would be very good right now. Actually, those... Okay, that's going to take me a while to get to, that methane from Titan. But, like I said, I've got a lot of good stuff I could get into. So, I think... well, I know there's a development coming up, so I'm going to get at least 2 of these. I'm going to get at least 2 of these out yet during the round yet. And I don't want to produce until I get something on the something else on the board. So I think, let's see, that's reduced by 2 mega credits for steel I have, so I would be paying 6 during the action step to flip an ocean tile. And if I lead action, I can do it twice. The question is, can I get any of these on the board and still be able to pay to flip that if I lead action? Let's see, so I'm paying 6 for that. That would cost me 5. Actually, wait a minute. If I lead development, that would be 4. If I lead development, microbes would cost me 2. But I think I want to get some mega credit production into play. So I'm going to lead on development and take a risk that this is a development card. So let's see what's coming out of the Automa deck. It's research, so that's actually very welcome, which means I'll get to draw 2 more cards and keep 1. But anyway, let's move back over to the board. So I have 2 steel capability right now thanks to my mine. So I get to pay 4 less for a card plus 3 less for leading development, which means I get to pay 3 mega credits. So I'll bring that 5 in and get 2 3s back to play economic growth. So that will let me, during the production phase, that will let me produce 3 mega credits for me, which is effectively 8 because remember my Terraform rating. But anyway, that will do it for development. Now let's go into the research. So I get to draw 2 cards and keep 1. I'll move that up to the discard pile. So 2 cards from here. First up we find redrafted contracts for 4 mega credits. You can play this during the construction phase. As an action, discard up to 3 cards from hand and draw that many cards back. And new portfolios for 14 credits, for 14 mega credits. Ooh, plant and energy tags on them. During the production phase, this produces 1 mega credit, 1 plant, and 1 heat. I think we're going to keep that. Because one thing I haven't been doing much of is getting heat production, or getting heat or plant production up. So anyway, that is it for another turn. Research is now out of the Automa deck, which means they can't lead that. I can't lead development this round, but anyway, let's move back to the Automa deck. My engine is starting to somewhat come online. My steel engine is starting to somewhat come online. And I know I've got a development coming out of the deck, which I wouldn't mind at all. So I think now is probably going to be a good time to get into production. So I'm going to lead production this round, and then the AI will be leading a development, which I actually don't mind at all. So let's move back over to the board. Okay, so we're doing a development first, and I don't get to pay the 3 less mega credits for it. The card I want to play, I think we're going to go ahead and play the industrial microbes for 5 because that's got a steel tag on it, and I've got 2 steel capabilities, so I get to pay. Oh no, that's going to cost me 5 because that costs 4 less, so I'll get a 5 back. And then during the production phase, this produces a heat, which we'll be doing production in a minute. And when I play a steel tag, I pay 2 less for it. So now I've got 3 steel capability. That's it for the development. And now we produce. So I gain 8 mega credit. Actually, I gain a total of 12 because I led production. So 3 from my production, plus my terraforming rating of 5, plus 4 for the bonus. So that gives me a total of 12 mega credits, if I can ever get that out. Okay, and I also produce 4 more heat, so I'll take one of these singles and get a 5 back. And then now would be to where I could use any of the standard actions on there for 20 mega credits to give me a forestry victory point and bump the oxygen. 8 plants to do the same thing. 14 mega credits to let me bump the temperature 1 step, which I'd need oxygen for that, but I need yellow temperature, so I'm quite a ways away from that one. I'm not going to do that, especially since I know this is an action coming out of the Automa deck. Yeah, so I'm going to, well, I'm planning for the action step, which I'm kind of getting ahead of myself there, but anyway, let's move back over to the Automa board. I know this last card is an action step, so I don't need to play that. Do I just do another development and keep building up my engine? That's actually not a completely terrible idea. So yeah, I think I will lead on development. And then we know that this card, like I said, is an action ability. So let's move over to the board, to my play board first, and then we'll do a development. A steel tag, any steel tag I play right now, since I led development, would be -9. Wow. So I'm actually going to pay. Steel tags are minus. I can't. Oh yeah, -2 per steel capability. So that's 6, plus another 3, plus another -3 for the development bonus is -9. So I'm going to pay 5 mega credits to play Deep Well Heating, which will let me raise the temperature 1 step and produce another heat during the production phase. So that goes up, temperature goes up by 1 to -28 Celsius, and my terraforming rating goes up as well because I bumped the temperature. Anyway, then we go through the action step. So my only action right now is a very good one, Aquifer Pumping. So I get to pay 4 mega credits to flip an ocean tile, and we'll start with one of these in the middle of the board. So this first ocean tile gives me a one-time benefit of 2 plants. So I'll get 2 plants there. And then because I flipped an ocean tile, I don't think that bumps anything on the parameters, but I think that does bump my terraforming rating. Let me double check. Actually, we should have moved up to the board for that, but it's a weird shot, but you can see that I did flip one of the tiles. Anyway, flipping an ocean. Like I said, I don't think it bumps. Immediately receive the reward on the back. Yeah, I don't flip one ocean tile. Mega credits or effects on cards. Okay, so yeah, I don't think it does anything else for the parameters, but it does affect it does bump my terraform rating. So as you might be able to see, it might be hard to see off shot, but my terraform rating is up to 6 right now. So anyway, that is it for the first round of Ares Expedition. Because we're playing on novice difficulty, I actually get a little bit of help with the parameters. I don't get anything for this, but I will bump the. I'm probably going to start flying up the temperature scale, getting my heat production online. So I'm going to actually, I got further to go on the I'm going to need more help on the oxygen most likely, so I'm going to bump that for the first round. Anyway, that will do it for the first round. That is one of mine, and I can't lead development right away this round, so I'll shuffle up the AI deck. Give that a cut. And then I will start round 2. After we bump this over. Now we'll start round 2. My engine is very much coming online, but so I'm going to put it to work as I lead production because I'm getting a little bit short on mega credits for comfort. But anyway, let's see what the Automa is starting with. The Automa is leading on a development, which I actually kind of don't mind that too much. Actually, now that I'm looking at some of the stuff in my hand. But anyway, let's move over to my play area. Alright, steel tags for me are still -6. Unfortunately, the card I want to play, especially going into production, is not a steel tag. It's going to be New Portfolios for 14 mega credits. It's a plant and an energy tag. During the production phase, produces 1 mega credit, 1 plant, and 1 heat. So I'm actually going to discard Lake Marineris, since I am a ways away from that on the temperature front. And I'm going to clean myself out of mega credits. So that goes to the discard pile. This goes up here, which means I bump my mega credit production, my plant production, and my heat production. So now I'm producing 6 heat every turn, which is going to really get my which is really going to start me flying up the temperature side of the scale. So now we go into production. I have 4 mega credit production, plus 6 on my Terraform rating, plus 4 bonus is a total of 14. 12. 14 mega credits. 6 heat, which 6 plus 7 is 13, so I'm going to take that. I'm going to trade a 5 in and get that back with my production, and I get a plant. Whoop-de-doo. But anyway, more importantly, now I actually have mega credits to play with, and their production is still on the deck, so that is very fortunate. But anyway, let's move back over to the Automa board. Their development is gone, and the question is, what do I want to do here? I just produced, so I can't lead that. Do I just build up my engine a little further? I think I do, actually. I think we'll lead development, because I want to get some card draw into my engine. So the AI now is going to lead research. All players draw 2 cards and keep 1. So with that, let's move over to my play area first. So we're going to be playing Acquired Company this turn. I've got 3 steel capability on my engine, so that's a -6. Plus an additional -3 is -9, so this costs me 2 mega credits to play. And then during the production phase, I draw a card. So that's very handy there. And then research phase, all players draw 2 and keep 1. I wouldn't mind getting some steel tags that help me boost my space capability, but I'm probably getting a little greedy there. So first card up is breathing filters for 9 mega credits. Requires yellow oxygen or higher, which I'm a ways away from, and it's just straight victory points. It doesn't help me with anything. And anaerobic microorganisms for 10 mega credits. It's a microbe tag. Effect: when I play a card, I may remove 2 microbes from this card to pay 10 mega credits less for that card. And when I play a plant microbe, what is that? When I play an animal, plant, or microbe, including this, I add a microbe to this card. So I think I'm going to toss the breathing filters, because while this anaerobic microorganisms isn't great, it at least kind of sort of does something. Like I said, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. But anyway, that will do it for that turn, for that research. Now let's go back over to the Automa deck. Their production is still in the deck, and I can definitely get a big bump on my Terraform rating this turn. So I think, for something I don't usually do in this game, and I probably need to do it more, I'm going to lead on the action step and plan on raising stuff, and plan on getting a bit of a bump on my Terraform rating. Let's see what the Automa is leading. The Automa is leading construction. So that's a little bit problematic, but I can pass through that if I want to. And well, let's move over to the board anyway. Let's move over to, I'll move over to my play area. I actually am going to blow through the construction phase without doing anything in there, because my plan required me to be up at the board for the action step. So let's just move straight up there. So for the action step, I'll zoom in here just a little bit so you can at least see what's going on up there. So for the action step, I will go ahead and I'll go ahead and spend 8 heat. So 13 from 8, or 8 from 13 is 5. So I'll gain that to raise the temperature 1 step, which will bump my Terraform rating. And then I'm paying a total of 4 mega credits, so I'm actually going to pay 8 to flip 2 ocean tiles, which will bump my Terraform rating 2 more. So I'm up to 9 right now. Then I'll flip these 2 ocean tiles. So first the one in the middle of the board will give me a plant and a mega credit. And is that a mega credit production? I don't think so. Let me look. I think that's just a one-time mega credit. Yeah, I think it would say produces 1 mega credit, so I think it's just a 1 mega credit. So I'll put those 4 in and gain a 1 back, and I gain a plant, so I'm up to 4 plants. And then this ocean tile, come on, you do not want to focus, do you? There we go. Gives me a card and a mega credit, so I'm up to 6 mega credits now. And I get to draw a card. So I bumped for raising the temperature. Yeah, and then 2. Okay, so I get to draw a card. So this card, Interplanetary Conference for 6. So it's got an Earth tag on it. In effect, when I play an Earth or Jovian tag, excluding this, I pay 3 less mega credits and I draw a card. That could be handy, actually, because oh, never mind, that Ice Asteroids isn't a tag of that, but the Methane from Titan has a Jovian tag on it. So that could be something to keep an eye on. But anyway, that will do it for that round. Now let's move back into the Automa deck. Their Automa has production and action left in the deck. So I think I'm going to lead on research, because I don't want to risk I don't want to risk their production bumping up with mine. I want to be able to produce twice if I can pull it off. But anyway, the card here is a production. Perfect. So let's move over to the board, to my main play area. Production happens first, so I get 4 plus 9, 13 mega credits. 10, 11, 12, 13. I do have a card production, so I do get to draw a card. So I draw Herbivores for 25 mega credits, but I need to have at least 3 ocean tiles flipped, which I do. 1 VP per 2 animals on this card. I'll only bother with that if I'm successful at Terraforming Mars. Requires 5 ocean tiles to be flipped. Never mind. And then when I raise oxygen, I flip an ocean tile. When I raise oxygen, flip an ocean tile, or raise the temperature, I can add 1 animal to this card. I may end up discarding this as fodder for something else later on, but anyway. As a card, I produce 6 heat. So 5, 6. And I think that only gets spent if it's maxed at the end of the action phase. I don't think it cares if it's maxed at the end of the production phase. It does not. Okay. Good to know. Let's see. We didn't get the plant yet, so we're actually up to 5 plants now. And then research happens, so I get to draw 5 cards and keep 2. We'll take from this stack. 3, 4, 5. Alright, first card up. Ooh, titanium mine for 7 with a steel tag on it. When I play a space tag, I pay 3 less mega credits for it. That's probably... I'd be willing to bet that's a keeper. And I get to keep 2 because I led research. Then we have Volcanic Pools for 17. As an action, I can spend 12 mega credits to flip an ocean tile, reducing this by 1 per energy tag I have, except that's probably going to be a discard because I already have a way to flip ocean credits or flip ocean tiles on the super cheap. And I'm probably going to start flying through that. 20 mega credits requires red temperature or warmer, which we are close-ish to. Maybe. Flip an ocean tile during the production phase. This produces 2 heat, so that can also help get the heat up. But it's not a steel tag, so that might not be as good as I think, but... Microprocessors, ooh, never mind. Microprocessors for 17, and it's got steel and energy tags on them. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card, and this produces 3 heat. That is probably a keeper. Although that lets me flip an ocean tile, but again, I'm going to be flipping ocean tiles on the very cheap when I lead action. And trading post for 11. Ooh. Gain 3 plants, and during the production phase, this produces 2 mega credits. So, well, I know I want the titanium mine for sure, because getting a space discount is going to be very welcome. The question, though, I'm sure that's going to be a discard because I only have, well, I do have 2 energy tags, but I've got 3 steel capability, and I'm going to fly through flipping those ocean tiles most likely. My initial instinct is that this is probably a discard, especially with microprocessors under consideration. The flipping an ocean tile isn't that good just because, again, of the aquifer pumpers. So that's probably a discard. The question is, which of the microprocessors and trading post do I want? The microprocessors comes with a steel tag, and I'd be paying 11 for either one of these. Question is, do I want more mega credit production or do I want more heat? My heat production lets me raise the temperature more often during the action step. And my mega credit, well, a lot of that's probably going to take a lot of the mega credit production is probably going to get taken care of as I continue to push my terraform rating up. So I think I'm going to take the microprocessors, especially since I'm paying 11 for it either way. So we'll do that with it, and then those 3 will get discarded. And then after that much musing, we'll move back down to the Automa deck. Their production just went, I'm leading mine, and I know this is an action card from the Automa. So let's move right back over to the game board. we're going to be busy over here at the game board. So first I'm going to use a standard action paying 8 heat to bump the temperature 1 step. Temperature is down here, so we're at minus 24 right now. My Terraform rating goes up. And then I'm going to spend 4 mega credits to flip another ocean tile, which also raises my Terraform rating. And I'll flip this tile, so we get a one-time of 4 mega credits. Nice. So, which I'll be getting a lot more mega credits than that once we move into the production step. So because I didn't lead action, I think that is it for me. So we'll come back down to the play area. I'll reposition slightly. There we are. So I just bumped my Terraform rating up to 11. So I get 11, 15, 19 mega credits, which means I'll trade one of these singles in and get 2 10s back. I get to draw a card, so I will get to draw Power Grid for 8 mega credits. It's got a steel tag on it, so I can effectively, so it's going to be a very cheap card. During the production phase, this produces 1 mega credit per energy tag I have, including this. So right now, if I lead a development, even if I lead a development, I basically get to play this for free. Even if I let them pull it out, this is still going to cost me 2 mega credits. So I'm going to be getting some very cheap and very powerful developments online pretty soon. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself there. Drew the card for that. I get 6 heat. And a plant. So I'm up to 6 plants now. Anyway, that is the end of round 2. We'll tip back up to the board for a second. There we are. And I get to bump by 2 steps again. I will bump the oxygen. I'll bump that up to 4%. So we're at red oxygen level. There was a card I had that required me to be at red oxygen or higher, which we are now. And that's actually a very good card. I may try to get that online, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Anyway, I can't lead production right away. I will shuffle up the Automa cards. Okay, so the Automa deck's all set to go, and let's go ahead, bump that over as well, and we'll start round 3. I've got some very strong developments on the table right now where I can start getting myself to a point where I'm probably just guaranteed bumping the energy, where I'm just bumping the temperature up on every action step. So, do we try to start setting that up further? Leading development wouldn't be a terrible thing right now. That methane from Titan is a space tag, so if I can get that titanium mine in play, if I can get that titanium mine in play, that would be a very welcome thing. Since we just shuffled the deck, though, I'm not sure what I want to lead right now. So I think we'll just lead on development here, because I'm probably going to get that titanium mine in play, which I can do for free, because I'm leading it. Let's see what the Automa is doing for the first card. They want to research, so perfect. So let's move over to my play area. Change of plans, actually. I was going to try to get that titanium mine into play, but that's costing me 1, given that I've got 3 steel capability right now. So I think instead I'm going to take advantage of the discount from that and pay 32 mega credits to get the methane, whoops, that would help to go in the right cup, to get the methane from Titan into play. So it requires red oxygen or warmer, which we just got. During the production phase, this produces 2 plants and 2 heat. So 2 and 2, which means every time I produce, I'm just guaranteed, which means every time I produce, on an action step, I'm guaranteed to raise the temperature at least 1 step. Okay, so that is it for development. Now we research. So I'll draw 2 more cards and keep 1. I still want to try to get some steel tags that give me discounts on space stuff. Card 1 is AI Central, but I need 5 science tags. As an action, I can just draw 2 cards. I have exactly no science tags. That's probably discard fodder. And bribed committee, 5 mega credits with an earth tag and an event, raise my TR 2 steps and -2 victory points. I think I will keep that and discard AI Central since I am minus all the science tags today. But anyway, that will do it for research. That was a very quick phase. Now let's move back over to the Automa. I could see almost any phase come out right now and I'd be happy with it. So I think since the AI just led research, I'm going to lead mine and go digging for more cards. Again, I still want steel stuff that gives me titanium discount. So let's see what the Automa wants to do. The Automa wants me to construct. And I've got some pretty good stuff up there right now anyway. So let's go ahead and move over to my play area. I'm going to clean myself out of mega credits, but I'm going to pay 6 to play an interplanetary conference. Actually, no, better idea. I'm going to keep 1 for a bribed committee to raise my TR 2 steps. So that'll give me a lot more mega credit production. And I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to worry about the victory points unless I'm successful at terraforming Mars. So anyway, now I'm going to research, so I get to draw 5 cards and keep 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First card up. Greenhouses for 11 and requires yellow temperature or warmer, which we are nowhere near, but the action could be very good where I can spend up to 4 heat to get that many plants. First I need to get working on the temperature, but I expect my heat production to take care of that. Interns for 3 mega credits. When I draw cards during the research phase, I draw 2 additional cards. So basically I'm digging 7, basically I'd be digging 4 deep and keeping 1. Or if I lead it, I'd be digging 7 deep and still keeping 2. Not sure how much I like that. Lightning Harvest for 13. A science tag and an energy produces 1 mega credit per science tag I have including this. I still have exactly 0. I'm not particularly happy to see that. Extreme Cold Fungus, 10 mega credits, but requires purple temperature. Action to gain a plant or add a microbe to another card. Actually, we're still at purple temperature somehow. Wow. And Advanced Alloys for... oh my, for 9 mega credits. Each titanium I have reduces the cost of space cards an additional 1, and each steel I have reduces the cost of steel cards by additional 1. So steel would be -3 for me, space tags would be -4 per titanium, except I have 0. But that would help my steel tags immensely. So I'm going to keep Advanced Alloys. And I think since I need to get on the horse of bumping temperature, I'm going to keep greenhouses. So those will move up to the discard pile. And then for the end of the turn, we'll move back to the Automa deck. With 1 mega credit left, I don't have the luxury of caring what the top card of the AI deck is. I need to produce because I need mega credits. The AI is going to develop. That's actually not terrible because I can play something for 1 mega credit. But anyway, let's move over to the board, to the play area. My last mega credit for about the next 10 seconds will give me the titanium mine. So when I play a space tag, I pay 3 less mega credits for it. So I finally have a space on the board. And then I get to produce. So 4 plus 4 for the bonus for leading production is 8, plus 13 is 21 mega credits. That was sorely needed. Then I draw a card, so I draw Arctic Algae for 19 mega credits, and I need red temperature or warmer, which I'm not at yet, but I'm getting there. Effect, when I flip an ocean tile, I gain 4 plants. I might be tempted to lead construction, actually, but I'm getting ahead of myself there. So I drew a card. I produce 8 heat, which, so that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another 8 is going to bring me up to 17. So I'll trade those 2 in and get a 10 back. Then I get 3 plants. My next action phase will probably be very busy, but let's move back over to the Automa deck. I can't lead production here, but I think, I have 21 mega credits. I'm trying to think if there's a way I can play both greenhouses and Arctic algae this turn. And I think there is, actually, if I lead. Okay, so actually the question is, do I play advanced alloys and try to set up? I don't actually have too much time left because I really need to get moving on. I think I'm going to have to play. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to play construction here with the idea of playing, with the idea of basically continuing to, I've got to really get moving here. But anyway, let's see what the AI wants to do. The AI is going to lead an action. So that might still be salvageable though, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So let's move back over to my play area. Okay, so I can't play either of the cards I was looking at because the temperature is too low. But I will for 3 mega credits, so 21, that'll go down to 18. So 5, there we go. I will go ahead and play out advanced alloys for 3. So basically this increases the effect of the space and steel tags by an additional 1 mega credit each. So I get to either draw a card or play an additional. So I think I will actually pay. Now that I have a titanium, that's down by 4. So I think I will pay 17 mega credits, especially since I know there's a production coming up. I'm okay doing this. I'll play an ice asteroid, which will let me flip 2 more ocean tiles, which will also bump my terraforming rating up 2 more. So we'll flip these 2. We'll flip over first up. We'll find a plant and 2 mega credits. So plant and 2 mega credits. And then this one right next to it we'll find 2 more plants. So we are definitely going to be busy during the action step. So actually give me, see, what is that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually give me, let's make this 12. Let's make this 12 plants. Okay, and then that's construction. Now let's move into the action step. So I'm going to pay, actually no, this probably still works. So I'm going to pay 16. Can I use each standard action more than once? I think so. I think standard actions are as many times as you can pay for them. On one of your cards an additional time. Any number of the standard actions. Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure of. So I'm going to pay 16 heat to raise the temperature 2 steps and give me 2 more terraform rating. Then I'm going to pay 8 plants. So 8 from 13 is 5. And I'll get my first plant VP, which also raises my oxygen level up to 5%. And for an action, I will pay, for the action on the card, I will pay, I'll have to toss a card here. Actually, I'll toss the herbivores to give me 3 more mega credits, and I'll spend 1 to flip another ocean tile. So this will give me a card and another plant. Alright, so herbivores is discarded, and then I'll draw a card, so I will draw Tropical Resort for 19 mega credits, but I have to spend 5 heat. During the production phase, this produces 4 mega credits. Okay, that is a development, but that doesn't have any tags with it. So anyway, alright, that was the action phase, so let's move over to the AI deck. With 2 mega credits, I'm probably not doing much in the action phase. The development phase is a decent option because my steel tags are stronger now. Because thanks to advanced alloys, each steel I have is reducing my steel tags by 3. So that power grid would be free. The microprocessors would cost me. Actually, I just got into red temperature, so that's something to keep an eye on. That Arctic algae isn't going to be useful much longer because I've got only 2 ocean tiles left to flip. Once I get a mountain of credits, that's 1 leading the action step. So, yeah. So I know that's a production, and I can't lead construction. I think I will just lead on I have 1 heat, so I can't play Tropical Resort. I think I will just lead on development. Yeah, and then we know this is the aforementioned production. So let's move over to my play area. Okay, steel tags are reducing it by 3. So 9. I'll discard 11, 14, 17. I'll discard 3 cards to get the credits I need to play microprocessors. So I also get to draw 2 cards, then discard a card, and during the production phase, this produces 3 heat. So that will be up to a total of 11 on the heat production. I also get to draw 2 cards, then drop 1. So 2 cards. First up we find Hydroelectric Energy for 11 mega credits with a steel tag on it. So as an action I can spend 1 mega credit to gain 2 heat, and if I chose the action phase I gain 1 additional heat. So I could basically spend 2 mega credits to gain 6 heat if I lead action, which might be tempting once I get some mega credits back. And Underseas Vents. Ooh. 31 mega credits, steel and energy tags. During the production phase, I draw a card and this produces 4 heat. Ooh, that could be interesting. But anyway, now we're into production, which the auto led, so I don't get the bonus, but 4 plus 17 is still 21 mega credits, which is still very welcome. I get to draw a card, so I draw Biomass Combustors for 15. I have to spend 2 plants, and it's got a steel and energy tag on it. This produces another 5 heat. And then I produce 11 heat. And 3 more plants. So that's it for production. Now we're at the end of the round. I will bump the temperature up 2 more steps. And then we'll be in to round 4. We're into round 4 now, so I need to give the Automa deck a shuffle. As I'm looking at that, I'm thinking an action phase might be a good thing to do. Just because I can get these last ocean tiles flipped, and I can start working on the parameters a little bit more. So question is, do I want to lead it, or do I want the AI to lead it? I think I want to lead it. That way I can flip both of them in one shot, and then I won't have to. Then I can pretty much forget that action exists until I get something really good, which I kind of don't have right now. What I could stand to get is some more card production, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So I can't lead development because I led that in the first. I led that the last round. So I think I am going to lead action and just be done with flipping those ocean tiles. So the Automa is going to produce. So actually that works really well for me. Anyway, let's move over to the board. First things first, 8 mega credits will, let me see how many I have here. So that's a 15. Anyway, 8 mega credits will flip the last 2 ocean tiles, so I'm done with that. First ocean tile up. Gives me another card, which could be helpful. This card is Extended Resources. It's a blue card, so I'd have to play it in stage 2. 10 mega credits, science and steel tags, so it would cost me effectively 1. When I keep cards during the research phase, I keep 1 additional card. I really need to get some stuff that's going to give me bursts on the oxygen and the temperature. And then the last ocean tile, so this is going to bump my terraforming rating by 2. This is for the ocean tiles. I find I get to draw a card. So this is actually another very welcome card. So I find Power Infrastructure, 4 mega credits, which is basically free because I got steel for days and another energy. I can spend any amount of heat to gain that amount of mega credits. So I've got 11 heat, which I've got 12 heat right now. So that would, depending on some of the stuff I draw from card production and research and stuff like that. Anyway, the card I draw for card production, Farmer's Market for 12 mega credits. It's a plant token, so I think that's something that helps me with plant tokens, plant tags, don't I? Maybe that, I might have discarded that actually. I think I discarded that to pay for something. Anyway, as an action, I can spend a mega credit to gain 2 plants. That's not in play. That's actually drawn from my card production. Then I get another 11 heat. Oh no, this is the action step. I think I got ahead of myself there. Oh, no, that drawing was from flipping the ocean tiles. Never mind. I've taken too many headshots, clearly. Anyway, so Aquifer Pumping, I did that twice because I let it. I will spend 8 heat to increase the temperature by 1 step, which will also bump my terraform rating again. This is going to be helpful when we move into production. Then I'll spend 8 plants to get another forestry victory point, which will also bump the oxygen up to 6%. And I think that is all I can do during the action phase, so I will produce next. I don't get the 4 mega credit bonus, but I really don't need it right now because I'm making 24 mega credits off of my terraform rating plus my mega credit production. Now I draw a card for production, so now I draw Heather for 14 credits. It's a plant tag. I gain a plant, and during the production phase that produces one, and it's a green development card, so that's when I would play that. Now I get another 11 heat, which will bring me up to 15. And another 3 plants. Oop. There we go. Okay, so that should be on 20. Anyway, that is it for the production step. Now let's move back over to the deck. Okay, this is another situation where I'd probably be happy with almost any card coming out. In fact, I'm probably going to be digging feverishly for stuff that'll let me raise the temperature and the oxygen in big bursts. So I'm actually going to play... I'm going to play a... they just played production, so I'm going to play a construction. There's some stuff up there. If I'm thinking I'm going to be digging for cards pretty hard at this point, then I want to start getting that up. But anyway, let's see what the AI is doing. The AI wants me to construct as well, so that's unfortunate. That's a waste of a card. But anyway, let's move over to the board. Alright, so the first card I'm going to play is Extended Resources. Because my steel tags are now reducing my steel cost by 3, I only have to pay 1 mega credit for that. So as an effect, when I keep cards during the research phase, I keep 1 additional card. I'll put that up there just so I remember. And then because I led construction, I get to play an additional card, so for another 2, I'm going to play Hydroelectric Energy, which normally would cost me 11, but with 3 steel capability, and my steel reducing my cost by 3, this only costs me 2. So during the action step, I can spend 1 mega credit to gain 2 heat, but if I lead action, I gain 1 additional heat. So I'm expecting to start flying up the temperature track, but anyway, getting a little bit ahead of myself there. I can use heat as mega credits, but not the other way. That's unfortunate. But anyway, just looking at my corporation effect. So let's move back over to the Automa deck. So that construction gamble is one that roughly didn't pay off. But anyway, now I'm going to... since they've already produced, I'm going to lead production. And then the AI is going to do the action step, so that's actually pretty good. Let's move over to the board. Right. First, I will spend a mega credit to gain 2 heat from my Hydroelectric Energy to bring me up to 16, which I will then spend to bump the temperature up 2 steps to -10 Celsius. So that bumps my Terraformer rating up 2 steps as well. Then I will spend... Then because we're going to be producing this turn, I'm going to be producing this turn as well, and I'm going to get the mega credits back anyway, I'll spend 20 mega credits to take another victory point forestry tile, which will bump the oxygen up to 7% and bump my terraform rating up to 23. Is there anything else I can do during the action step? There is... Well, I could pay 15 to flip an ocean tile, but I've flipped them all already. So what I will do instead is I'll pay 14 mega credits to bump the temperature again. So now we're up to -8 degrees Celsius and into yellow. And then that's the end of the action step. So now I'm going to produce. And because I led production, I'm +4. So 24 plus 4 is 28. Plus 8, or plus 4 there is 32 mega credits. Then I produce, then I draw a card. So I draw Circuit Board Factory for 14 credits with steel tags, so that's effectively 5, which means as an action I can just draw a card, which might be very welcome in a minute. Production, I get another 11 heat. And 3 more plants, so I'll trade 2 of these in and get a 5 back. That is it for production. Let's move back over to the deck. With research and development left in the Automa deck, I think, since I'm probably going to be digging through the deck, I'm going to lead construction because I want to get that circuit factory board out. The AI wants to research. That's actually pretty perfect. So we'll move over to my board. Because I led production this round, or construction this round, I get to either play a card and draw one, or play two. And I think I'm going to end up playing two most likely. So I'm going to play the Circuit Board Factory, which would normally cost 14 credits, but my steel's reducing it by 9, so it's only going to cost me 5. During the action step, I get to just draw a card. Then I get to play an additional card, and I'll pay 12 to play the Farmer's Market. So I'll spend... So it's a plant tag, which I looked and I don't have anything that helps me with plant tags. So I get to spend a mega credit to gain 2 plants. Right, and then research, all players draw 2 cards and keep 1, except because of my extended resources, I get to keep both of these cards. So we'll draw 2 cards. First up we find Fusion Power, which requires me to have 2 energy tags, which I do. During the production phase, I get to draw a card. And Algae, 9 mega credits to play, requires 5 ocean tiles to be flipped, except they're all flipped. And during the production phase, this produces 2 plants. So, yeah, we're probably going to need to get moving on those parameters, but... right. Anyway, that will do it for that turn. Now let's move back down to the deck. This last card for the AI is a development. So, I need to figure out 2 things. The best card I could probably play right now... Well, what is the best card I could play right now? My first thought is it probably would be the Undersea Vents. Question is, can I get... That's got a steel tag on it, so I'm reducing my steel by 9, which would be 22. I have 16 right now. So I need to make 9 more mega credits, which would probably be 1, 2, 3. So I could get to the Undersea Vents if I wanted to, and I probably do. The question is, do I want to produce right away, or do I want to get on the action? I think I'm going to be at 0 mega credits at that point, so I think I want to produce. And then we'll flip this over to see it's the aforementioned development, so let's move over to the board. At a 9 mega credit discount, thanks to my steel, that'll bring me up to 18. Actually, did I math this wrong? I might have. So that reduces it by 9 to 22. I think I only need to discard 2 cards. Because that's 9, 18, 24, 5, 28, 31. Yep. Only 2 cards that I need to discard, and I'm actually going to toss the Tropical Resort. So I'm tossing 2 cards to get 6 more mega credits, cleaning myself out, and I've got a 9 discount thanks to my steel. To play the Undersea Vents. So during the production phase, which we'll be heading into in a minute, I draw a card, and this produces 4 heat. So I'm drawing 2 cards, and this produces now 4 heat. So now let's move into production. I'm at a Terraform rating of 24, plus 4 for my mega credit production is 28, plus 4 for the bonus is 32. 32. I draw 2 cards, and right now I'm really looking for haymakers. So first up we find Subterranean Reservoir for 10 mega credits, flip an ocean tile. El Hot Garbaggio with the current state of the board. And Sponsors for 5 mega credits. During the production phase, this produces 2, except I've got way more mega credits than I could ever need. So, anyway, I think that's a plant. So that will do it for the round. So now we're into the last round. My hand size is still okay. I haven't been paying attention to that, but I've been under 10 cards most of the game like I thought I would be. So now we're into the last round. You're probably wondering right now why I've got the Automa deck face up. The reason I've got the Automa deck face up is because we're in the last round, so here we get to control what order everything goes off in. So in this case, I want the AI to develop first. I have a bit of a plan, but I'm probably going to be moving back and forth between action and production. And I'm going to lead on action, so I get to activate one of my actions an additional time. Anyway, let's move over to the board. Actually, yeah, over to the board. So this is the phase where we find out what my engine's made of. So for the development, I will pay the full price of 9 mega credits to play algae, which requires 5 ocean tiles to be flipped. All 9 are, so that's met. During the production phase, this produces 2 plants. So I'll be producing a total of 5 plants on my next production. Then in the action phase, which I can activate one of these an additional time. So I will activate Hydroelectric Energy first. I'll spend 1 mega credit to gain, 3 heat because I led action. That'll go up to 15. Then I'll draw a card, and I'm still looking for a haymaker here, I find. Airborne radiation for 15 mega credits requires red oxygen or higher, which we are at yellow right now. I get to raise the oxygen 1 step, and during the production phase, this produces 2 heat. So, okay, during the action step. Then in the farmer's market, I'll spend a mega credit to gain 2 more plants. I don't know why I did that. Then I will repeat the Hydroelectric Energy, which will let me spend a mega credit to gain 3 more heat, right? Yes. Then I'll spend 16 heat to raise the temperature 2 more steps, or up to -4 degrees Celsius. My Terraform rating's up to 26. Then I'll spend 8 plants to get another victory point tile, another forestry tile, bump up to 8% on the oxygen. Then I will spend I'll spend 20 mega credits to get another one. So I'll bump my oxygen up to 9%, and I'll trade these in for a 5 spot. And I'm clean out of mega credits, so that will do it for that. I'll pull these off to indicate that they're back available for another action step. And let's move back over to the board. I'm going to have the AI lead production because I figured at some point I was going to need to go digging for cards. So I'm going to lead... Actually, am I going to lead research, or... I'm completely out of mega credits, so I can't really lead... Actually, I could lead development and get airborne radiation to produce more heat. Question is, can I get to... The problem is I need to get to 12 mega credits. Although, 1, 2... Well, the question is, which one do I want of these? I think I'm going to commit... I don't have the 2 plants, so I think I'm going to commit there. And I'm going to lead development, so I get to pay 3 less for the card. Let's move over to the board. With 0 mega credits right now, the bonus for development reads, discard 1 less card to pay for your card that you're playing. So I'm going to discard 4 cards to get me 12 mega credits, and to play airborne radiation, which requires red oxygen or higher, and I'm at yellow. I get to raise the oxygen 1 step, so I'm at 10%. My Terraform rating's at 27. And during the production phase, this produces another 2 heat. So heat production has been absolutely off the charts this game. And then speaking of production, I will head into that. So I gain my mega credits first. 27 plus 4 is 31. Then I draw 2 cards. So I draw Cool imports for 13 with a steel tag. During the production phase, this produces 3 heat, and atmospheric insulators for 10 mega credits with space and earth tags on them. During the production phase, this produces 1 heat per earth tag you have, including this, and I would have 3. So that's not great, but it's not terrible either. That's the 2 cards. I produce 17 heat. 17. And I produce 5 plants. Anyway, that will do it for the production phase. Let's move back over to the deck. The AI is researching next, and looking at the board, I bumped that 2 steps, bumped that 1. I think I want to. Do I want to? I just produced, so I'm wondering if I try to. What do I have coming left? I have construction and action left, so I have an action coming. I will go for an. Let's go for an action step. We should be fine there. So we're doing action and research. Now let's move over to the board. All right, 1 mega credit to give me 3 heat. Which I will trade. I'm not going to worry about that. Then I draw a card, so I draw. Nitrophilic moss for 14 credits. A little late to the party, but another 2 plant production. Would have been better a lot earlier. Then I'll spend a mega credit, getting me down to 29. To produce 2 plants. Then which one do I want to repeat? I will repeat the gaining. 3 heat, let me bump the temperature a 3rd time. So I'm at right now, actually, I am going to trade these in so I can see. So 5 of those to get me a 5. So 22. Yeah, bumping the heat, repeating hydroelectric energy would let me bump the temperature a 3rd time, which I think I will do. So that'll give me 3 more heat, which I will then spend 20, 1, 2, 3, 4 heat. So that's 24 heat to bump the temperature 3 times. 1, 2, 3, so we're at 2 degrees Celsius. My Terraform rating goes up to 30. Then I'll spend 8 plants to take another forestry victory point and bump my Terraform rating again, along with bumping the oxygen up to 11%. Then I'll spend 20 mega credits to bump oxygen again, take another victory point tile, and I think that will do it for the action steps. Let's move back over to the board. We are not moving back over to the board yet because I forgot to do research. All players draw 2 cards, and I keep both of them because of extended resources. So first up we have Kelp Farming for 17 mega credits. Requires 6 ocean tiles to be flipped, which they all are. I gain 2 plants on a 1 time, and during the production phase this produces 2 mega credits and 3 plants. That could be a good development, but not right now probably. And Terraforming Gigamead, or Ganymede, for 28 mega credits. Space and Jovian tiles. Raise your Terraforming rating 1 step per Jovian tag you have, including this, and I would have 2 if I played that, so that's not particularly good, but anyway. Now we're moving back over to the board. Let's move the right card over. I put construction next because I was sure I was going to draw a haymaker by this point, but alas, I didn't. So I think we're going to produce here. Anyway, with that, let's move over to the board. The sequencing didn't end up working out, so I wouldn't be able to take advantage of construction anyway, so we'll move right into production, and I led production. So 4 plus my terraforming rating of 31 is 35, plus 4 for the bonus is 39, so I'll trade 1 single in and get 4 10s back. Then I'll draw 2 cards, neither of which are probably going to be particularly helpful, but this one we'll find. Fish for 11, requiring red temperature or warmer, animal tag. 1 VP per animal on this card, and when you flip an ocean tile, add 1 animal to this card. Completely useless. And designed microorganisms. 15 mega credits, requires red temperature or colder, and so it's too warm for this one. During the production phase, this produces 2 plants, so also El Hot Garbaggio. Then I get 17 heat, so 10, 15, 16, 17. I might actually pull this off now that I'm looking at it. And I get 5 plants. So those are gone. That's it for production. Now let's move back over to the Automa deck. I had to take a small break just to see if there was a way I could do this, and I can. So I'm going into the action step. The question is... Actually, I might be just short, but I've got a little bit of a plan here. Am I going to need to double this one up? I think I might have the mega credits to do this without having to play a development, because I was looking at that kelp farming again. Was I going to need the 2 plants? And I don't think I am. So here's one time where I am going to double up on the action step. Mostly because I need to be able to repeat an action this turn. So let's move over to the board. I'm being particularly careful because I know this is the last turn of the game. Because the player cube, you might not have seen it, is over at the 5 right now. So that's it. But anyway, I will start off with spending a mega credit to gain 3 heat. I'll turn 5 and that 5 into a 10. I just want to make sure this works. Then I'll draw a card, which is probably going to be discard fodder at this point, so I draw. Industrial Farming, which would have been good a lot earlier. 19 mega credits with a steel tag, which would be effectively 10 because of all my steel tags. During the production phase, produces 1 mega credit and 2 plants. Then I'll drop the cube on the floor, but more importantly, I'll spend a mega credit to gain 2 plants. And we'll do that. And now, which one do I need to repeat? Well, I'm going to be spending... I think if I repeat the Hydroelectric Energy... Yes. If I repeat the Hydroelectric Energy... So 1, 2, 3, 4 and change. And then 3 of that will turn into more heat. I think this all works. So I'll spend all 24 of my heat to raise the temperature 3 times. 1, 2, 3, which maxes it out at 8 degrees Celsius. So 1, 2, 3 on the Terraform rating. Then I'll spend 40 mega credits to get the last 2 plant tokens, 6, 7, which bumps my terraforming rating up, but more importantly, it brings the oxygen rating up to 14%, and we have successfully managed to terraform Mars. So, that was a close one. Now we can go ahead and total up victory points. I know I had a bribe in here, so that's 1. Let's make sure I only canceled out 1. Okay, so that's -1 from cards. 1. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera, but none of these, as you can see, have victory points in them. So that's 1. And what is that? 9 from forestry tiles is 10 victory points. So, yeah, not a Not a very good score, but anyway, we were able to successfully terraform Mars on Novice. So let's move back up top to wrap this up. I'll bring the shot down a little bit further so it's a little easier to see with the glare. But anyway, you can see we have managed to, actually, I think Terraform rating factors into victory points as well, doesn't it? It should. End of game. Right. 1 victory point for Terraform. Victory points equal to forestry. Okay. So actually I ended up with 46 victory points, which is not bad at all. So I ended up right there for 46 victory points. But anyway, as you can see, the oxygen is maxed out at 14%, the temperature is maxed out at 8 degrees Celsius, and all 9 ocean tiles have been flipped. So Mars can now successfully support human life, at least based on this game of Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. But that will do it for this playthrough of Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. I alluded to originally wanting to feature regular Terraforming Mars, and I still might at some point once I have a little better feel for the new space. Once again, I'd welcome any rules mistakes I might have made or technical feedback in the comments down below. But next week, we're going to transition to some much bigger games and really start to put this recording space through its paces. I'll also be, like I said, I'll be playing with the lighting in here as well. But anyway, that musing aside, next week I'm going to throw one of my biggest games at this space as we play Xia, Legends of a Drift System. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.